Hello. Happy April 1st, 2026. I'm Infiniti, and this is the full moon in Libra. It's a pink full moon, and I was guided to go live, so I'm super stoked. And I am okay. I am in a new dealio here for being live on YouTube and on X at the same time. I might add Facebook back again. I haven't been on there in forever, but I may just have it for the podcast. I'm not sure. For right now, it is just YouTube and X. So if you're watching me or watching the replay, those are the two places that you can see me. The description has all the information about this live and where to find me. Chacho. Now, I do have a couple of dogs and a few cats that they're separated by a fence over here. This is the new thing for I think about a month now, something like that. I don't know. Time moves by very, very quickly, but so, and it's the full moon, so especially Chacho, my boy German Shepherd. Chacho, come here. Come here. He gets extra. He's pretty energetic and very excited anyway. Hi, Baba. Let's see if you can see his little face. There he is, sweet boy. Yes. Say hi. This is Chacho. You can definitely see more of him and Cora. Hi, Cora. You want to come over here? Oh, no, my camera's going to take a minute to adjust. Cora's over here too. They're both laying down, being very good. But one of the cats started moving around, and of course he got all. It's weird with him when he gets a little extra excited. But they come over here. They sit right here. They'll sit in front of him, and anyway, it's a work in progress. Michelle, hi. Welcome. Happy full moon. Happy pink full moon on April 1st. Aries season. So Aries sun and Libra moon. Laura's here. Hey, Laura. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Hi. Thanks for being here, guys. Happy full moon. I hope you guys are having a great day. Yeah, it's definitely, you could definitely feel the extra energy. When was it? Yesterday already we had an X-class flare, so that was going on already. So I'm interested to see how much more. I heard that we're going to have some more solar activity. We did have a big CME, a coronal mass ejection, overnight, I believe. So already solar energy is getting excited for the and with this full moon in Libra. So let's see here. Where do we begin? We're still very much working out the eclipse energies of a few weeks ago. And then we have the equinox. Then we have Mercury going from retrograde to direct. We have big things going on with a lot of the planets and alignments that have never been seen before and won't be seen again. And it's just so stacked. It would kind of start to all jumble together if I went down the list of all the big headlines that have been going on basically since the beginning of the year, and just add on to each other. So here we find ourselves April 1st. And we have the full moon in Libra. And of course, the full moon is in Libra. I mean, if there's like, there wouldn't be a better sign, because we just had the eclipses and the equinox, Mercury going direct. Like I said, we have a bunch of Venus energies happening. Saturn is really, really intense. Pluto is coming into the foreground from the background as well. But Libra is all about balance and fairness and justice and all that good stuff. And again, we just had these new beginning, reset. I have no idea what just happened. My door just opened somehow and my dogs ran outside. So, right in alignment with some chaos that is and has been going on. Not just wild shit, you know, a lot of extra intense stuff happening because, you know, that's what's meant to happen right now. So just give me a second. Let me get my dogs. Because all of a sudden, I think the door just pushed open because we're having a storm right now. Oh, that's cold. Come on. Come inside now. You guys took full advantage of that. Guess I gotta lock this door, huh? Yeah. Yeah, so to go along with the full moon today, we have a storm. Started overnight, very rainy, just kind of nonstop, moderate rain. Since was that yesterday? Why my days, these last couple days, they're totally blended together. I'm like, when did the rain start? Yeah, anyway, doesn't matter. So it's gotten a little, I guess I didn't shut the door all the way and the door blew open. The dogs took off all the way to the gate because they could. Of course. So anyway, we have all of these different things going on and astrologically. And then we have Libra with this first full moon after all these things. The pink full moon, Libra, is about balance, fairness, justice, really to get in alignment with your divinity and your intention about how you're going forward. Aries is the beginning of the entire zodiac year, and it's potent energy. It's very, very fiery. It's moving very quickly and has been moving very quickly since basically the equinox really saw an acceleration in energy and time and all that good stuff. So, hey, chill out. Oh my God. I think I'm gonna have to put you in the bedroom. Yeah, let me I'm gonna go put the dogs in the bedroom. Come on, let's go to the bedroom. Come on, I can't be distracted with you. You're way too upset for help. Let's go. Corey, you wanna come in here with him? Come on. I can't keep being distracted with this. Let's go. Let you guys be chill. Sit back, please, so I can shut the door. Thank you. You won't chill out, dude. He's been on one all day. It's been He even jumped at the fence at Pretty Boy. Look at how cute he is. He even jumped at the fence at Pretty Boy earlier. Pretty Boy came up to the fence because it's been cool. It's been pretty good. Them all sharing space, and them especially Blackie and Pretty Boy coming out here and being on my desk and sitting over here by the TV. So he just got up close to the fence. It was closed and Chacho jumped at it. He's never done that. So he's been a little hot. Speaking of fire, you can really see how the energies go. If you have animals, you're definitely going to notice it in them, and you know, just they all kind of act a little different, and some are going to be more affected than others. It's just same thing with all of us, and some of us you can be like, oh yeah, this is definitely full moons are definitely triggering in different ways for different people or animals. Sometimes new moons, and for some people it's more new moons than full moons, but for most people it's full moons. But that can also, even those highs and peaks and valleys can shift as far as just how much they're going to affect you. So some are more spicy than others. This one is definitely a spicy one. Very, very spicy full moon. And we need that to ignite everything this is the big launch, basically. This is the launch time for everything that's been culminating and getting into place for the last, well, several thousand years. But if we're talking more recently, the last 6, 3, 2, 1 years, mostly. So it's been a steady increase of these energies and getting further going with the age of Aquarius. And that is a really big deal. So everything just is building on that. We've had several paradigm shifts over these last 6 years. And of course, before that as well. But the ones that have really been big have been the biggest jumps for a very long time, really have been recently. And what I mean by that is just advanced consciousness and development of understanding energy and technology and spirituality, divinity, a spiritual war for a very small amount of people, but still I'm trying to help that get bigger and more. It's not easy since that very system controls so many people. So it's not easy for people to push through that and be even, allowed to get, near me or or if they do, to be able to process what I bring into reality. So yeah, it's but it's one of those things where you have to be at a certain point in evolution and ascension and vibration and resonance to be able to kind of crack that field and really be guided by your divine counterparts, your guardian angel, your soul, Gaia. I mean, it's a team effort to get people to become aware of me and to work with me as they're meant to and guided to, whether they follow through on that or not, and are ready for the levels that we work at here. That's a whole other story, and what I understand of everything and how things have been, it's just things just keep on kind of cracking through and leveling up, and consciousness keeps moving, the wave gets bigger, and people are in various ways understanding more about well, no, it's kind of become the paradigm shifting. It has been very interesting when it comes to all this woo-woo spiritual energy business, because it went from nobody talking about vibes and frequency and energy, and even just in the mainstream, people's talking about those things, and way more holistic approaches to seeing things now. Not everybody, but a lot more people. And it's just kind of like it's always been there. And it's like, this has not always been the way people have interfaced with each other. It has not always been in the language. No, it just hasn't. But it is now, and people not making fun of it on top of that, you know, and people being more open to like zodiac stuff and just energy work and psychic stuff without, you know, just kind of yeah. And then we have the whole empath thing, and how empaths are meant to awaken and understand themselves, understand energy, and that's why we are the way that we are. On that note, I have a 5-day 10-part series next week, going over various topics twice a day. I'm aiming for about 45 minutes to an hour for each, and I'm just gonna run through a bunch of topics and information to help empaths. The basics, I guess. I mean, it could be a 30-part series, but these are the basics to help people, whether you've been around for a while or you're new to either spiritual awakening or understanding about empaths, or that you are an empath, or you're just, you know, finding out stuff about this, about empaths or spirituality or spiritual awakening, healing, holistic healing, and just being guided to learn more. These videos are going to share a lot of information. It's going to be really helpful, and by the end of the week, it's going to be a nice little library. So those will be live 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. Pacific, next Monday through Friday, April 6th through 10th, 2026. And then the replays will be there as well. So you can join me live if you know about this ahead of time. If not, they will be there for you after the fact. Okay, so let's see here. This full moon is about illuminating more truth and seeing things more clearly, or choosing to just deny what's going on. So it is what came through as a choice point of reality. It's like, do you want to take the road that is definitely less traveled, but far more aligned with what you're meant to do with your life? What is ascension and spirituality, essentially, which is to wake up and be guided and pushed to really understand yourself, your purpose, who and what you are, connect with your soul, and all the divine counterparts that have your back and are invested in your incarnation for the work that you're meant to do here. Not very many people wake up to a really, really clear understanding of reality and themselves, and develop to the potential that they could. It's like this pyramid and it gets less and less crowded towards the top, but that's just how it works. So like I said before, when it comes to people finding me, you have to be at a certain resonance anyway to get there, and it's not very common. But even not at that level, just for people in general, this is a time where people are going to be faced with more reality and what's really happening and how things have developed, whether they weren't, seeing it before or denied it before, or kind of half did and I don't know. There's just all these different layers to this, but it truly is about aligning with, and that choice point is like, do I want to know reality for what it is and what I am and my full potential, and really maximize this incarnation regardless of how much work that is or how much I have to invest in myself, in time, energy, effort, money, sacrifice doing other things that most people do or enjoy because I'm using my time and my energy in this way. But it's just about you. It's what you're meant to do. So that doesn't, that there is a conscious decision to make there. It doesn't just happen. You have to, really want that consciously and understand it piece by piece as you go through it. But even at the lower levels of shifts and changes and evolutions, and there's so many different types and unique ways people can go through a death and rebirth cycle and raise their consciousness and see and perceive more clearly what's truly happening in reality for them, and yeah, there can be a few big steps or a lot of little steps for people and anything in between, and that can go on for several years before people are truly ready to kind of turn over completely and really start shifting more profoundly, more in everyday life, and just really kind of surrender more and trust more and be less afraid and more courageous when it comes to all of this. So this is also what Aries is bringing in, this fire, this want to balance, this want for truth and all of that, because that inspires us to and motivates us to have greater alignment for the truth. It just feels better. I mean, sometimes the truth hurts and the truth is tragic, and if that's our interpretation of it, and the truth sucks. But at the end of the day, we appreciate and we want the truth, even if it's not what we would like, at least most of the time. Of course, there is denial. There's that to take into account. But if you're somebody who is past denial and understands that, oh, I incarnated into this reality and it's very weird and there's things that haven't made sense and I've always had questions and just trying to figure things out, and I've experienced all sorts of stuff and you know, it's just like the math isn't mathin'. And but yeah, that's reality as far as I can process that, or have anything to compare it to, because we all have our own perception of reality, and so that also makes for a lot of confusion about what reality is, because we have so many overlapping realities. I did a video about that about a month and a half ago, or maybe more, somewhere in there. It is on this channel, on YouTube. I'm trying to remember what I called it. But it's there. It's about the multi universes or something like that. Excuse me. Oh, it looks like I forgot my water. Well, I have my tea. But that's something that just we most of the time don't consider, just how many overlapping realities are happening at the same time. This like web of energy and time and perception and perspective that is happening from each individual or animal and beyond at any given point. That really complicates things, but everything is just so seamless, and we don't really discuss it very much anyway. So that's an interesting factor too, especially when that starts to shift and change. So it can be challenging, to say the least, but these energies right now, they're about illuminating reality. And if you want to align with reality, it's like go through life in the dark, or with a little bit of light, just seeing kind of pieces here and there as you stumble through, or get more and more and more illuminated. And this is one of those, again, choice points of being like, yeah, I really want to be illuminated. And even if that means that being illuminated means I have to then adjust accordingly in different various aspects of my life, my choices, my relationships, about, you know, my routines, whatever that it is. I mean, and a lot of times, trust me, you wouldn't even like, sometimes it is the things that you might think that it is, and then other times it could be different than that. I mean, things just kind of are there for you to be ready for, even though you couldn't imagine what those things are. But you have to put yourself in those positions to receive those shifts in your universe for your what's happening specifically for you. And when it comes to spiritual awakening and being more illuminated and all of this stuff, that's to help you be more in alignment. And there's various things to that and what helps you get in better alignment, for sure, which I'll be talking about a lot next week. So definitely be sure to tune in to that series next week. Yeah, because that is a lot of this. It's about just being clear, in greater alignment about who and what you are and how to maintain you and what's really going on, all that good stuff. So like I said, we sweep over the necessary basic points if you're somebody who's really seeking the truth, really wanting to align with yourself, with your soul, with your experiences in this life, and make the most out of your incarnation and experiences. So with that said, I am going to get an oracle card or two. We shall see. I don't know what I thought. Maybe I still have all of these decks from the equinox mixed together. I was guided to make this hybrid deck, and I thought, oh, am I going to work with that today? Because oh, is this where the water went? Oh, shoot. Oh, my cat knocked over water. And I thought, where did the water go? I could not figure it out. Well, I guess some of my cards, I'm going to have to deal with that later. So no, I'm not going to touch that. That was very confusing. And now, mystery solved. Well, that sucks. I don't think it was very much, but some of my cards are wet right here. And it just so happens to be like, yeah, they're from various decks. Oh my gosh, you're... Oof. They're okay, they'll be fine. Apparently they needed a little... a little watering. Yeah. Cats will knock over your shit. And sometimes you know it, you don't know it, you find it later, you think you understood it, you got all the mess or whatever, and then, yeah. There's been a lot of water spillage around here lately. Water has been active. Okay. Oh, excuse me. I am feeling, this deck here. And I need, there it is. Hard time seeing it. This is the Beyond Lemuria Oracle. And I'm gonna light some sage and dried flowers. I have a whole bowl here of different dried flowers. I talk about dried flowers next week, so I'm not gonna spend time on that today, but I'm gonna do some dried flowers here. Look at that one. So pretty. Maybe I don't burn it. Maybe I will not burn it. It's so pretty. At least not today. Okay. Hi! You're back! Here's another one. Likes to knock over things. Hey, you're really in my way. Can you move, please? He's like, I've arrived! Yes, you're here. Hi. Can you move, please? I need to light a fire and I don't want you in it. Can you sit right here with me for a second? I've got this ready to go. And then I'm going to clear the cards with the smoke. I've got sage. I've got all these different flowers here. See? Okay. No, you're in my way. Jeez. Stop. Just trying to move things out of the way so you can. All right. You do you, dude. Spicy. So the last couple days, I'm guided to share that I've been a little like on and off with my third eye, nasally, sneezing, congested a little bit. Nothing like a cold or a what I know of as a spontaneous detox, but just a little extra sensitive with all of that. Any of you feeling that? Has that been a thing for you? And yeah, just very intense energies outside, especially in the sun. So that's definitely been going on. I think these last few days with the X-class solar flare and then the subsequent pretty decent CME, coronal mass ejection, over the last 24 hours or less has really initiated, along with this full moon. So we have that energy coming through the sun with the full moon and all that stuff, really intensifying the light, the ascension, the activation with our third eye. It's just that is the lens that we can, see more through our perception. Laura says definitely. Anybody else? Yeah, and it's coming, it goes in waves. It's like I'll sneeze a few times, I'll feel all congested, my nose will run, I'll have this whole third eye attack basically. And then it'll be, well, it's gone until I'm fine again. So clearly that's not anything like allergies. It can feel like it. It can feel like cold or allergies, especially because it has, it's doing all the things, but allergies don't come on suddenly like that and then leave suddenly like that and then you're fine again. Neither is, when you have a cold. But that's definitely an ascension symptom thing. Whoopsie. So, baths are really great to help process this energy, help bring that through, and all of that disturbance is basically like your third eye just, and your sinuses and everything is just getting activated, and that's how your body responds. So, to help your body deal with the energy, take baths. I would say go out in nature, but you'll get more of that intense energy if you're out in the sun. So nighttime outside is definitely a good thing because the sun has gone down. So you may notice that it intensifies either when you're outside or right after or when you come in, or that you have to come in because your sinuses, your whole head starts to feel really overwhelmed with the light, just everything gets really, really activated. So just take that as that goes as far as outside goes, but baths for sure are gonna really help process the energy in your body. and help with that. Doing the DMT release, I highly recommend DMT release for sure, to help with that third eye, sinus pressure, headaches, sneezing, runny nose, any of that stuff you have going on, because your third eye is getting so activated right now that the DMT release is a great thing to do. And I offer that on my website. I take you through that whole thing. It's this thing that you do with your eyes. It's not a breathing thing, and you could do that several times a day. It's very, very quick, and it really helps quite a lot. So if you want the link to that, it is on my website, or chime in the chat and let me know that you want that link, and I'll go grab it for you real quick. And that's a spirit walk, and I take you through what that is, and then the rest of that is the spirit walk with the Lionsgate in 2024, which is a really amazing activator for your third eye, Merkaba. If you're an ancient Egypt person or into the Lionsgate, that's definitely something to do along with learning the DMT release. Okay, I've shuffled this quite a lot. It just goes like that sometimes. Okay. Let's see. How many cards? Oh, I have 3 cards here. Okay, I'm going to take this middle one. Trust your innocence, card number 54. Oh, how pretty is that? Trust your innocence. Look at the lily, my favorite flower. She has lilies all over the place. Lilies are very divine. They're very pure. Yeah, innocence. Yeah. Definitely. Okay, so let me grab the book here and see what the, it's card number 54. Trust your innocence. What the last, yeah, one of the very last in the deck. Okay, trust your innocence. Isn't that pretty? I will take a picture of this and post it in our school community. The link for school is on my website and in the link in this video. You can join for free, and that's where I post things I don't post anywhere else. And it's brand new, so you're going to be building it with me, and hopefully people will start getting more engaged in that soon. That would be great. Okay, trust your innocence. Trusting yourself, being real with people, knowing the difference between intuition and paranoia, uncensored feelings, returning to innocence. It can be hard to decipher between intuition and what our mind is telling us. Stories, projections, expectations, or fear can arise under the guise of intuition. To distinguish truthful inner guidance from paranoia, we must return to innocence, to our purest essence. Here, we have access to the truth of our being. So I told you, this full moon is all about truth. And what is this card talking about? The truth. The truth of our being. Okay. What were the very first feelings or visions you had when you considered the question at hand, before you second guessed yourself? How does it feel in your body when you are brutally honest with yourself? Try to go beyond the layers of what you have been taught to believe about yourself or reality. When some of the logic falls away, what answers remain? And that is super, super important, especially when it comes to discerning what you're receiving, what you're being guided to as you go through a spiritual awakening. What's you, what's outside of you, what is bringing that information in, how much of that makes sense. And all of that is on a per experience by experience situation. But a lot of times things don't necessarily make sense, but it is what it is. Like you'll get feelings about stuff, you'll, you know, just all sorts of different ways that we can be guided to awareness can sometimes feel like it's either like it doesn't make sense or it's something we want it to be, and maybe that's more us than what it is. But I like what she says here. Try to go beyond the layers of what you have been taught to believe about yourself. When some of the logic falls away, what answers remain? So you always have to remember that, and that's a good thing that I've been taught to do, because it's like, where's this coming from? What's motivating this? How am I, you know, what am I feeling about this? Just to really kind of understand and yourself that, you know, who's driving this and what's driving this and why is this happening and what is, like, all of these things, until you get better at discerning that without all of those questions. But in the beginning, it helps to have that that way of checking in, and that will just make you feel more confident, because you'll be like, oh yeah, that's, you know, and then it'll come through, because as you're asking these questions, you will be getting the answers to those things too. You will be reminded of stuff, and, you know, to help you go, no, this isn't you, because this, remember that, and you'll be like, oh, okay, that's true, you know, because if you're somebody who really wants to go as guided and really wants to see yourself and see how you may be, or the different ways that you have been limited by your definition of who you are or what reality is, and most of us have, but then we're shifting away from what those definitions are, but there's usually remnants or like, you know, we kind of want to still control things and want things to be a certain way, and you know, it's just a good way of making sure you're out of your way to ask yourself, where's this coming from? How did I feel before this came through? Is this what I want or don't want? Is this about me or something else? And keep asking questions, because just the very notion of you asking questions means that you're listening and paying attention to something that's happening. And instead of brushing it away or stamping it with whatever, or even just blindly going with it as soon as it comes through, it's a really good idea to work those things through. So anyway, I will continue here. When you ask a young child a question, they don't censor their answers. Their honesty may not be considered polite or socialized. It may even be or seem a bit funny, but it's their truth, and it's interesting to note how intuitive children naturally are. To tell the difference between intuition and mind chatter, you need to recognize a clear, instinctive yes and a distinctive no. It's what I call the ding or the dong. And you feel that resonate in your chest. It's like, am I hearing a ding or a dong? You know, it's like, where's the vibration? Where's the frequency coming from? And how am I picking up on that? And you get so good at that that after a while, you don't have to ask. You just feel it and you know it is what it is immediately. And as you get even clearer, you'll have backstory to it. It'll be dong or ding and blah, 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 blah afterwards, telling, backing that dong or ding up, which is really cool because then you get even more confident in what is coming through. It's not just a ding or a dong, a yes or a no, a negative or a positive. It's ding or dong, and then this is why, and it'll just be like this, an accordion. It'll just keep going to back that up. And that happening over and over and over and over and over again gets you very, very confident in what's coming through, because that is part of it. It's not just, oh, I get messages or I see visions or things come through. It's, okay, what happens then and next for you? Is it, oh, tell me more, whatever wild thing is coming, like, I just, like, what about this and what about that? And just keep asking like you would anybody else, like, give me more information, tell me more of the story, what is it, and you'll just keep. But if you're like, I don't know, is that true? Maybe not, maybe that's just what I think, I don't know, blah blah blah, like, if you keep go through this whole like humming and hawing, should I feel it or believe it or this or that, because your ding and your dong isn't being employed, or you forgot about that, or you don't trust that, then it's like, oh, the whole train backs up. It's like, oh, here we go. We're going to go through this whole long thing about, let's qualify the truth. It's like the truth doesn't need to make sense to you, little human. It's the truth, the way it's coming through, your guidance for you. And these are the times where, whether consciously or not, it'll be like, I don't know. All of a sudden, I just had to, get off the street and get into that store. And then 2 seconds later, a big old bus just went right through the whole sidewalk, Or something really compelled, like, get in the store right now. And you're like, what the hell? I got to get in the store right now? What's going on? And boom, here comes the bus. You're like, how many times have you heard stories like that? Like, I don't know, this just happened, and if I had this feeling, and boy, it's like, yeah. It's like, if that person's just like, I don't know, but should I get in the store? And blah, blah, blah. It's too late. I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but it's just kind of like, anyway. Okay, here, where was I? I'm going to start back here. To tell the difference between intuition and mind chatter, you need to recognize a clear instinctive yes and a distinctive no. Oh, that's where we were. For this, you must trust yourself. Exactly. The foundation of self-trust is honesty. You must be completely honest with yourself about what feels good, true, and real to you, and what does not. Honesty is more than not lying to yourself. It is also about not withholding information. It is about keeping deep transparency within yourself. Some might describe their intuitive yes as a softening rather than a feeling of tightening, contracting, or avoidance. If we are to stay on our optimal path, trusting our original innocence or instincts is key. Very true. And divinatory meaning. Again, this is the card that I'm reading from. Trust your innocence is the card number 54. Okay, and divinatory meaning. Learn to trust your inner sense or intuition. You are encouraged to be absolutely honest with yourself. Cast aside any mind stories and shoulds that you tell yourself. In your heart of hearts, you know the answers. Dare to listen and to honor them. This card may also relate to being truthful about or with another person. Relationships can only deepen when we can be real with each other. Consider your timing and be considerate. But this is a time for truths. Like I said, it's a choice point. It's a time for truth. It's a time to need the truth, want the truth, be seeking the truth. And by definition, awakening or empaths in general, we're curious, we're adventurous, we are always seeking to know more, to understand the truth of whatever it is, to take things apart, to dig deeper, to ask more questions, to go the extra mile, to figure things out and to understand things. Because until we do, it's just kind of like this open-ended thing, and it bugs us. We want to know more. We want to put a period on it. We want to get it, and once we get it, we're like, okay, we got it. Okay, cool. And then you can move on. We're meant to be curious and to have a lot of different curiosities that get our attention, because it all builds our reality. So the more that we're seeking truth, the truer our reality is, regardless of. Now, this is the hard part, because it could be a ding, but the dong is how you feel about it, or what you think somebody else might feel about it. So that's where we have conflicting energies that causes confusion, because you're allowing your filter of your agenda to muddy the waters of the guidance. And these are two separate things. I can't even tell you how many times in my entire life I've been like, I don't like being right. Being right sucks, but I'm right a lot of the time. Most of the time. Because it comes through and I go, oh shit, that's the truth. I don't like that truth. And it's like, oh well, that's the truth. And I'm like, no, maybe it's not the truth. Maybe not. I don't want it to be. I hope it's not. And then it turns out to be true. And you're just like, damn it. I knew that. I knew that was the truth. I didn't want to, go through this whole thing. I've done that my whole life. And as you ascend and as you get better at discerning the truth, you realize, oh, the truth is definitely what you want. That is optimal in any situation. So you're going to be happy. That like bridge between your agenda of what you want, what you like, what you need, how you want it to be starts dissipating. It starts not mattering so much, because you understand more and more, oh, this is not about what I want reality to be. That's delusion. That's illusion. It's about what reality is. And sometimes that's uncomfortable. That doesn't feel good. That is not the way we want it to be. But, oh well, that's the truth. At the end of the day, like I said before, the truth is the optimal thing for us to understand and to know, because then we're building on truth instead of illusion and delusion, programs and stories that feed only a looping timeline instead of a spiraling timeline that is moving you up into awareness, into consciousness for yourself. Because that, at the end of the day, if you're an awakening empath, that's what you want. If you're ascending in your incarnation, if you've got like, okay, I want to know more, be more, do more, that is in alignment with what I'm here to do, and let's get that show on the road. And yeah, ascension means this. It's not like just this. it's literally ascension. So by definition, we're talking about moving in a way, like think about climbing steps or hiking, climbing a mountain, climbing anything. It takes more effort, is not as comfortable as flat walking. But we have asleep and then we have awake, and awake has to be based in truth, based in the truth. So it's very important. Are we an empath? And to what degree are we an empath? Where are we on the empath spectrum? To be very conscious of what that means. And you can find that under my empath menu on my website, and that is linked in this description and on my channel. Highly suggest that you read what empaths are, just the whole menu under empaths. That's where you want to go if you are new. The empath assessment quiz, the empath spectrum is there. What is your divine design? The quiz about, or an assessment about, are they a narcissist is there, and the empath assessment is on that menu as well. So that's where you would go to get all that good stuff. And any of that stuff is going to be based in truth and is going to help you with your discernment, with your reception and openness to receive your divine guidance. And at first it's going to be like, oh, I really feel like I should move out and get my own place instead of having a roommate. I definitely have to break up with so-and-so, or leave this job, or whatever. Take that vacation, go on that retreat, book that session, whatever the next step is for you to move that along is really where it's all pointing to now. It's like just focus on what's coming next. Be intentional about that, and away we go. Okay. Oh, this is cool. Okay, there was these two other cards that came through. I'm curious what these are. Oh, of course. So the two other cards that came through, look at how similar they are. We have card number 55, unique gifts, and card number 8, third eye chakra. So unique gifts. Look at all that. Light language. Light code business. And then here we have, of course, some platonic solid business and third eye chakra. Some more light codes there for sure. So I'm going to go to card number, it's the very next card number 50. We were on 54. Now this is 55. Your superpowers, a sense of purpose, the meaning behind your quirks, exploring your interests, shortcomings as unique, undiscovered skills. Oh, I love this. Okay. We're going to do this one. And then third eye chakra. We know what third eye chakra is. Again, this is pointing to DMT release for helping you process all of these energies that are coming through to help you process the truth. Okay, and then so unique gifts. This is more about divine guidance coming in to help you understand, like it said here in the beginning. Well, we'll get into what it says, but things that may be misunderstood about who and what you are. Because I mean, every single one of my clients that I've ever worked with, other divine incarnate empaths, have been like so confused. Like they understood stuff, but they also super confused about stuff, just like every single one of us in various ways. But the more that we can understand ourselves, that helps us understand reality and our perception so much better. And a lot of times, because of the way that we're wired as empaths, that we feel and perceive reality differently. We're super sensitive to energy and supernatural, mystical, woo-woo, spiritual experiences, time wobbles as well, and these things can be quite confusing and difficult to kind of make sense of, and we can internalize that as shortcomings, like this said. But anyway, I'm going to read this, and then we're going to do a spirit walk. Okay. I passionately believe that we all have gifts to bring to the world. If we all did what we truly excelled in and enjoyed, our talents and abilities would enable our communities and our planet to thrive. What would the world be like if each person contributed from a place of overflowing enjoyment without obligation? Where would we be if the jigsaw pieces came together for a diverse and complementary reality, free from prejudice or competition? Some of us have already discovered or remembered what we feel we are here to do. Others are still seeking or just starting to consider this idea. Your inspiration may come as a message or a vision or a dream. It may be something others have recognized in you for a long time. It may come from a deep resonance with something you are yet to try. You may be concerned it will affect or transform your current lifestyle. Your gift or purpose may be something you enjoyed immensely as a child but did not bring into your adult life. Perhaps there is an array of shoulds holding you from what you love doing. When there is enjoyment in what you do, you can give more to it, way beyond your usual capacity. It lights you up when you think or talk about it, and you need less in your life as you are fulfilled through doing it. When you don't do it, you might feel ungrounded or low in energy. If you haven't connected with your purpose, look at your quirks and what they are telling you. You may struggle with some things because your mind works differently in these areas. Things you may have considered shortcomings may be the qualities that enable your gifts. I struggled with dyslexia. Many of us do. So she says here, I struggled with dyslexia, and my synesthesia is so strong that there was always a process of translation when I went outside. Learned or socialized communication. I had to decipher concepts and thoughts from luminescent abstract images that amplified the more energy there was behind them. It was quite frustrating as I felt it made me seem unintelligent. The words I could master felt inferior to the information I was experiencing. The time it took to translate meant much was lost, so I would often give up mid-sentence. However, this non-linear way of navigating reality was perfect for energy healing and traversing realms. When I discovered painting, these skills were even more helpful. I then realized I could explain everything in a visual way that included the flow of color and a feeling, and somehow people all over the world seem to understand. Divinatory meaning. What makes you unique? Any quirks that you feel you are shortcomings could be the keys to your superpowers. Look for the positive sides of your oddities and traits. How would you like to spend more time? Are there things you would like to try or feel a pull to explore? Now is the time to follow these whispers. You never know how transformational they may be. Oh my God, 100 million bazillion %. So from the quirky way that you interface with reality or see energy or feel energy or to things that you enjoy doing, and usually that has some type of creational aspect to it or creative aspect to it. We are here to create, and whatever we're meant to create, whether it's visual or auditory, if it's sound, if it's paintings, if it's writing, if it's working with energy and doing healing. I'm very similar to her with basically everything that she said that she experiences. So energy healing, the synesthesia, the dyslexia, but dyslexia is a form of mirroring. And when we have a kind of accordion kind of way that we see reality, we tend to see things in mirrors and patterns like that. So we'll tend to just naturally be dyslexic. Now, that becomes a gift when we stop being frustrated by it and we start noticing when we see patterns like that, mirrored patterns, or especially when it comes to light codes with numbers and symbols and letters and stuff that come through, because they're mirrored patterns a lot of time carry a whole other layer of meaning, and it's important for us to be conscious of that. So just as an example. But anyway, the other thing that I want to say here that she doesn't talk about is your uniqueness and what you're meant to be and do here. It doesn't have to be such a mystery. They're written into your divine design. Everything about your past, present, and future, ancient past to near to distant future, is written into your divine design. And that is in your astrology, specifically your Vedic astrology or Vedic astrology. And you can take that even a step further and just see if you are part of the Phoenix lineage from ancient Egypt and beyond. Those people very specifically drawn to their divine design because it is spiritual technology. It is based in numbers and positions of the stars and constellations and the planets and everything, and that there is a very specific mathematical organization to that. Again, your divine design fills in a lot of gaps about you and also validates what you already know. It really helps build the foundation of what? Truth. And that helps you to ground into what those unique gifts are that are part of your divine design. So then you're like, oh, so this is why I am the way that I am. And that feeds into this, and this makes it that. And so I can be this, and so I can do that. Okay. Then it just adds so much strength to all the stuff that's like cooking and bubbling underneath the surface and all the different things that you've experienced, and makes it so you can really start investing time and energy into those things, because you realize and you recognize, oh, this is a thing that is part of my divine design for me to experience or create or to move through or to heal or to connect or whatever. And that will tell you that. So something to look at on my website to help you really get into your divine design is the 1111 activation, where we work with the Vedic astrology AI, and I give you all the prompts to that, and it comes with spirit walks. Well, you could take either the one that's the full boat experience or just getting into your divine design without the videos and the spirit walks and stuff. But anyway, I highly suggest that came through as I was reading this. It's like, well, this is kind of making it sound like this is just got to be a mystery, and you have to kind of think about this and do that to kind of push through the remembrance of what that is. It doesn't have to be so hard. But again, this is very important, because this is about your soul purpose and what you're meant to do as an incarnate. It's all related to that. So when you can lock in with your divine design and start really implementing and creating or collaborating and having greater unification with what you're meant to do with your highest timelines, you're just going to be happier. You're going to be really engaging in the who and the what that you're meant to be. And the sooner you can get to that just grows exponentially. And of course, these lives are finite. We might be infinite souls. and we certainly are, but these incarnations do end much sooner than we want them to. So we only have so much time here to really be effective with and to connect to our divine design. But our unique gifts are there to like it said, light us up. And again, this full moon is about the truth and is about illumination, being lit up to move in the direction of what is our highest timelines, even if that means changing things to adjust for those timelines. Okay, so and remember, when we activate with our third eye, and I highly suggest that DMT activation, also my website, that would be under the first menu under Welcome Home. But anyway, any kind of work that you could do with your third eye is being very, very activated right now. So you're going to be more susceptible to the sinus stuff like I talked about earlier, and light, sunlight specifically. I suggest, aside from the DMT release, that feels really good. It really gives a lot of space and moves the fluid away from your third eye, just allowing your more fluid to come in, which is really what you want. Aside from that, just closing your eyes and giving your eyes some real darkness if you can. So just like covering your eyes with your hands, just like this, or you could use an eye mask, of course, but anything like that you can do for a minute or two a couple times a day, even that is going to help. Just give your eyes a break for sure. If you're guided to sleep more over these next few days and over the weekend, definitely do that if you can. The energies that are coming through are really, really intense. The sun is super, super active right now. Fire energy, anything of light or electricity. You may be extra sensitive to technology, to screens, to anything that has to do with light, for sure. Another thing that will help a lot, we have these two things on either side of the spectrum. We have water and we have fire. Both are going to be very helpful for going through the activations that this full moon is bringing in. So if you can make a fire, if you have a fire pit or a fireplace, then it's not crazy hot where you are and that doesn't sound insane. Or you can just candles and just focus in on the flame of the candle with your third eye. It's going to really help with processing all of this energy. So whether it's a full-on fire or just a candle, work with some fire medicine. That's going to be very, very helpful for your third eye. Try to stay away from or give your eyes a break from any harsh light or fluorescent light. If you have to be in it, take some eyeball breaks. If you don't have an eye mask, just like I said, close your eyes, because closing your eyes, so you still get all this light, right? So you want to cover your eyes. You want to make it as dark as possible for at least a minute or two. Give your third eye and your eyes a break. It'll feel really, really good. And the last thing I'm going to say about that is the other thing that feels really, really great on your eyeballs and in your eyeballs is coconut milk, organic. Make sure it's organic. Just pour that over your head in the bathtub. Get it nice and warm in the tub with you. And then crack that open and pour it over your head. And get it in your eyes. It's going to get in your eyes anyway. It'll feel so amazing. It is medicine for your eyes. And it'll look all weird for about 10 minutes. And then you'll be back to normal. But your eyes will feel really, really good. And your third eye will too. Okay. So with that said, if anybody has any questions, please chime in. But again, just to review, the 3 cards that we got was Trust Your Innocence, and unique gifts. And third eye chakra. And all very similar. Well, these two for sure. A lot of blues, purples going on here. That star right here. Okay. Yeah, I think that is it as far as the oracle goes. So, if nobody has any questions, we are going to be getting into the spirit walk. I'm going to turn down my light just a little bit. Speaking of being sensitive to the light, I'm like, I cannot take this light much longer. It is way too bright in my face, but I needed it a little bit bright for those to show you the cards and to read. So now we will get into our spirit walk. So if you're new to this, you're just going to follow along. Again, if you can cover, if you have an eye mask or something you can put over your eyes to get it nice and dark for you while you do this, that would be the best thing to do. So you can really step away from this reality. I have to just keep my eyes like this. I don't really do the eye mask. Sometimes if I'm wearing, well, I'll do something like this and I'll put but then I'm having to go like that just to check, but I'm used to it. But for you, definitely better to cover those eyes with something or turn down the lights so you have the least amount of light coming through as we do this. And seated is best. Unless you cannot sit and you have to be laying down, then fine. But it is optimal for you to be seated, nice straight spine, shoulders away from your chest, and abs engaged. You can hold crystals. You can be in a chair or on a bed or on the floor or bolster, but seated is best as long as your butt is supported, your abs are engaged, and you're not giving too much strain to any part of your body, and you can relax, okay? And that's it. Just follow along. If you feel yourself drifting off, just try to get yourself back. If you get distracted and start going in different directions, just bring yourself back. If this isn't a good time for you, then come back to it later and do it when you can. Not when you're too tired though, because you will go way too deep. So if you're too tired for this right now, then you may want to try it later. If you feel that you come back to consciousness as we're ending it, then know that you did it and you were there on some level, but not consciously. So circle back. It's not actual sleep if you're coming back, is when we're coming back. But that tends to happen with people in the beginning. And that is about it. One more thing is you are guided to listen back to it when you're not actually doing the spirit walk, so you can retain more of what happened in the spirit walk, because it does tend to be kind of a dreamy space and time feels much shorter and things feel very kind of matter of fact. I'm never gonna forget this, and then the details will start to slip away the further you're out of the spirit walk. It's just a very common thing that happens, especially for people who are not used to them. The more that you do them, the easier that it gets to stay conscious, but still it's always advised to listen back to it and even do the spirit walk again to help solidify whatever comes through. So with that said, let's get going. I'm going to turn off a couple of these lights that I have over here too, just to make it nice and dark for me. Okay. Oh. I do tend to yawn as we start this, or I start doing healing, or sometimes as I start doing oracle, but definitely as I start doing spirit walks, it's kind of like my ears start popping and I start to yawn. As the kind of altitude and things start coming through. Okay. So the field is coming through and there's just a lot of yellow, gold, excuse me, and sunlight. Let yourself get into this beautiful golden bubble of light. Kind of like a balloon I'm hearing. So, and I'm feeling this very floaty, but nothing too abrupt or fast, and feels like being in a balloon, and everything is just gorgeous and golden and yellow. Really connecting here to your solar plexus. So beautiful gold light and solar plexus alignment. The solar plexus really helps us with our discernment. Like the third eye receives the information. Our heart chakra processes that through whatever vibration that we happen to be at. The higher vibration, the easier it is for us to process and discern what we're receiving. And then the solar plexus is that balance checkpoint that helps us really feel into whatever is coming through, and really balance that out within ourselves. Oh, excuse me again. This will stop soon, I promise. So the solar, the golden energy, the golden timelines. We speak about the golden timelines, or your most golden timelines. I often want to say your most golden, yummy timelines, because those are your most creative, your most abundant, your most magnetized to your highest potential. Your most golden timelines is the most alignment for yourself. So this is why the solar plexus is really activating right now. So you may also notice that there may be some digestive business things going on, or just a lot of activity. Maybe you're extra hungry or not as hungry, or you're just feeling a lot more energy in your stomach, in this whole area, and in the lower back as well. So solar plexus is stomach, digestive system, and also lower back, up into the mid back and down into the pelvis, even. So it can supersede those areas of the root chakra and the sacral chakra, that whole entire area there below. or right at your belly button and around to the back. So if you're sore or achy, or if you got extra things going on there over the last day or two, today and over the next few days, just know that this is a lot of the energy is processing through the solar plexus. Oh. More of that death and rebirth, endings and beginnings, and that midpoint between the end and the new beginning is being fired up now. So we had the eclipses and then the equinox, and now this full moon. This is taking all of that energy that is one big ball of reset, realignment, recalibration, restart, reconnection in the new framework of the new paradigm, and taking you and your timelines into and magnetizing you towards more truth, more divinity, more divine connections. So breathe into that. See this really, really bright, golden, yellow sunlight energy. In this whole bubble, this sphere that you're in, that is floaty and ascending very, very gradually, but it is elevating you. Breathing in that energy all the way down, connecting it to your solar plexus, and let that light up there in your solar plexus from the front to the back, and let it radiate out from the back and the front like a flashlight. So if you were to turn, oh, there's that big yellow light going this way and that way, and the back as well. And then that energy radiates all the way down, down into your hips and your legs and your knees, your calves, your feet, and all the way up into your chest, your back, your shoulders, your arms, all the way up. It's taking over everything, this beautiful golden energy. So this is calibrating you to truthful timelines, to remember and understand and align with the truth of who and what you are, where you're meant to be, and what your most golden timelines are. And to remember, dear Divine One, that your most golden timelines will definitely have and force changes that are uncomfortable and challenging and maybe a little scary, a little into the unknown, or a lot into the unknown. But that is definitely part of your most golden timelines, and you will see these as thresholds and checkpoints. And that is what we're going through right now. This is a decision point to want the truth regardless of what is it attached to, and that it's not about what you think you want or you think you know about what is best for you, or what even your most golden timelines are. To understand that that's not for you to have any preconceived notions about that what is the best, most golden timelines for you. This is in your divine design. This is governed by your soul and many decisions that were made before you incarnated as to what was going to be your most golden timelines. If you got to the point of awakening and remembering, and to get yourself even to the threshold of those timelines. So it's about surrendering to faith in the truth, and knowing that both the faith and the truth are interwoven completely into your most golden timelines. By definition, that is what they are. So leaving loops of false and illusion and delusion and programming and stories and any type of blocks or limitations, fears, addictions, traumas, any types of hangups or triggers or anything like this that have kept you and held you in confinement away from your sovereignty, whether this was about big system programming or any type of parasitic influence in any shape, that once you decide that you want to see and feel and know the truth and live from that perception, that the things that have kept you confined and limited start to weaken, start to fall away as you start to poke and prod and push into the future that is based in truth. This means various times of you weighing and measuring and aligning with what you thought versus what is, and what is the truth, or what you do feel and are resonating with now, even if it is far from what you ever resonated with before. And just keep on pulling that string and moving forward and moving forward. Essentially surrendering to the truth and the aspects of divine guidance and your highest possible timelines. That is what is illuminating through this full moon. And when you couple that with the intention to also align with not only what you're in abstract your most golden timelines are, but what you're meant to do in those timelines and how you're meant to engage and activate your divine design, your soul's technology of time and space, of being able to connect to the various and many incarnations that you've had before, connecting to the wisdom, the knowledge, the abilities, the gifts, the awareness of all these different incarnations as you're meant to. And much of that is about creation in various ways. So allowing for those doors to open wider and wider, for you and your consciousness to open up, be illuminated by the truth of who and what you are. That is such the energies coming in with this. So to engage with all of this, activating with this solar energy, this big, intense solar energy, fire energy, divine light and light codes that are coming through with this pink full moon, balancing energies for truth and trust in the divine, in creation, in the magic and the mystical, in all of that cosmic spiritual woo that is and that you are a part of. This is also a time to magnify and magnetize, to send out signals from your core of who and what you are as a divine incarnate, and at whatever level you have that understanding for yourself, that at the base that you have incarnated, that you've experienced what you've experienced for a divine purpose, to bring in love, trust, unity, to break the illusions of separateness, to eliminate strife and violence, manipulation and control, to help humanity see because you choose to see, and for every single person who chooses to see reality for what it is, exactly what it is, not as we thought it was, not as we want it to be, but as it is, so we can build from reality as for the truth of reality. And as more people do that, building a new reality based in truth, and understand that for very many years now, for at least 7, 8 years now, the truth has been a focal point for humanity, bringing the truth to light, what was dark, and bring it into the light. And people pushing for that, and lies being told, and things being covered up, and more coming to light, and more coming to light. And that has been the theme of the new paradigm. It has to be. It's not about illusion or delusion or fears. It's about what is real, what is true. Bringing the truth to light. So within yourself right now, decide that you want to be a part of bringing the truth to light for yourself, for your own timelines, for your own soul and your divine design, and letting that treasure chest of awareness, in whatever way you are meant to connect to it, to activate the keys that open the doors, that open the treasure chests, to give you more information about what is real and what is true. Your purpose, your incarnation, your soul missions, and what you're meant to create, and how you're meant to unify and collaborate, being magnetized, again, magnetized to the whole, to the group of awareness. And when we can mirror reality with each other, and what's true and what's real in our experiences, and resonate and respond and validate and share and build from those truths of what is real, then that just expands it further and further. It anchors a higher resonance within all of us individually and as a group, and eventually as a society, as the collective. That is, for all of us, our base mission. And while we all have unique and very different and detailed experiences, we all come with that base design to seek the truth, to live from the truth, to unify based in truth, to mirror reality that is truthful, to be real, to be authentic, to be aligned with what we're meant to do, and courageous and strong in that pursuit, to lift up and support each other through that as well, and to not allow the limitations of what remains in the 3D and the fear-based material matrix to be plugged into us, and to live from that experience anymore. It's to take responsibility for our piece of the pie, to suit up as light warriors, and know that this is not just about our individual experience. It's to pay attention to that, to prioritize that, of course, but it's to see it as a group experience. We're not in this alone. Not on this side of the veil or from the other side of the veil. the more that we can unify, collaborate, work together, support each other, share with one another, engage with one another, the stronger we all get. Until that happens, and while most of us are separated and individual or often doing our own things and staying separate and thinking that we're alone, the longer it will take, because we think about it as you are this beautiful divine energy battery, but when you come together with other beautiful divine energy batteries, that power just grows and grows and grows. So see yourself being magnetized into a center, like the center of a flower. And being pulled into the center of the flower. Gaia is coming in saying that's where all the good pollen is, by the way. That's where the bees come. That's where all the flyers come to take from the pollen. And what do? They distribute that energy. They distribute that light. And within that pollen is what? It's energy. It's from the flower that did what? That grew because of sunlight. So it's packed full of light codes. And our beautiful little flyers that go and collect that pollen. And then what do? They take it back to the hive, and eventually that turns into honey, which is what? It's golden and beautiful and packed with more light. Now it's been processed through one creation and another creation and another creation. It sits in that honeycomb, just bouncing the energy back and forth and back and forth. So all of this in this beautiful system that just looks like flowers and bees and honey. But when we break it down, there's so much light there. So let's be in the center of this flower. Let's be part of the light. Let's work together like bees. Let's have that honeycomb energy within us and around us and what we're working with. It's so powerful. It's the most powerful structure. It absorbs energy. It holds energy. It mirrors energy back and forth in a spiral manner. And it's rich and it's golden and it's beautiful. And it's part of our structure. It's part of our sequencing to come together to build this structure of energy within ourselves and with others. So etherically, on the other side of the veil, as we sleep, as we connect to the astral, to the cosmic, to the spiritual, to the beautiful beyond, and what is invisible and what is within the consciousness of us and in space and time and the atmosphere, understand that beyond our conscious awareness of when we're awake, we are coming together and working together on the other side of the veil. While we're sleeping and while we're dreaming and while we're so busy doing things we don't remember when we're awake. That is real. That is true. We're working with our divine counterparts, doing different things every single night. We're also meeting with each other. There's beautiful astral liminal places that we meet and gather. Sometimes we never meet in the physical, And sometimes we do. But we do come together in various levels of awareness and most definitely dimensions. So when you place the intention, it's like starting a song on a record player, pushing play. You're setting a tone and a frequency and intention. I'm going to dance by this rhythm in this song. And this rhythm in this song says, I want to very much intentionally connect with my divine counterparts on both sides of the veil. I want to rise and I want to raise my vibration, my harmonics. So when I go to sleep, I'm not busy in the lower frequencies. Lower level energies or entities or thought forms or anything just fly right under me as I ascend. Remember that gold balloon as I ascend into the higher and upper worlds, the higher harmonics and energies and frequencies. And just see yourself lifting up and joining those higher upper worlds and energies and beings, angelic, ascended masters, your ancestors, guardians, dragons, all sorts of different beings that you can and do couple up with and be in groups or do all sorts of different types of work. And again, meeting with those that are incarnate on the other side of the veil, doing work together that you don't know that you're doing consciously. But having that intention, no matter what, this helps with your greatest alignment. This signals to the universe, to your guides and guardians, you're becoming more aware of even what's beyond your conscious awareness, to know that you're meant to connect in these ways on both sides of the veil. And let it unfold without you needing to control or know. Sure, you could be curious and maybe you'll remember some bits and pieces. And when it'll hit you out of the blue is when you hear something or you meet someone, when you are awake, when you're doing your life, when you're being guided in different ways or certain things happen and it'll hit you. Oh, this is familiar. This person is familiar. There's a familiarity here. There's a comfort here. I feel like I know this person, or this is really a familiar number sequence or specific place or thing that I'm learning about, or whatever that it is, or an ascended master that you haven't heard of, or some type of guide or guardian or divine feminine or masculine that comes into your consciousness, and you feel something there, some real deep connection. Think and ask yourself, oh, have I worked with this person, or been to this place, or seen this before? Has this been an astral thing when I was asleep doing work? It may feel like that. And at a certain point in time, you'll get a definite affirmative yes. Yes, this person. Yes, this place. Yes, this thing. Yes, this whatever it is. It's something that, while in astral, did come through. You were made aware of it, or worked with it, or helped create it even in some, in that other special type of way. From the other side, lending energy and help and work. You're not just this person who's awake and doing when you're awake and doing, and then you're asleep and you're powered down and you're not doing anything. You're still very busy receiving, processing, joining, collaborating, learning, expanding your awareness in ways that you don't remember, that eventually those waves will reach your consciousness. So take a deep breath here and anchor back down into the solar plexus, feeling all that golden energy, being in that beautiful golden balloon, being magnetized into that center of that beautiful flower, whichever flower that you may see and feel. Or it could be very wispy and you're just feeling the pull to the center to be part of the collaborative group of the divine. And how beautiful, spiritual, and mystical that is. And the more that you're aware of this, the greater the consciousness will be, the higher your vibration when you are awake. The more grounded, feeling good about being alive, being in your body, wanting to live to the fullest, to see the beauty and what's right and what's beautiful and what's magical in nature and in you. To separate more from the material, fear-based matrix of lies, distortion, illusion, control, manipulation, judgment, fear, shame, triggers, traumas, addictions, abuse, violence, and move all the way towards peace and harmony, beauty and glory, unification, creation, the divine feminine and masculine, your own divinity activating more and more and building. Being an anchor for the light, for solutions, for creations, for illumination. To move forward and process through your body, through your consciousness, through your eyes, your hands, your mouth, your heart, connected to your soul, anchored into reality, the way it is. So one last thing here, just telling the body to receive, telling the solar, the heart, the throat, the sacral, the root, the third eye, the crown, chakras, all of your energy centers to receive this beautiful golden light for calibrating to the truth, for stepping out and away and unplugging from the fear-based material matrix and into Gaia's abundance matrix of crystalline light to activate your divine design, to pull away the veil of illusion, and to step into and through this next threshold, feeling strong and anchored and calibrating with the new light codes that are coming in to further move this wave along for this paradigm shift that we're in. So you're in the wave. You're not being crushed by it. You're not being left behind. You're in the wave of light. Just surfing through, feeling the intensity and the rush of energy as it comes through, but you're in the wave of light. See you moving with that wave of light and how beautiful it is. You don't know where you're going, and it doesn't matter. You're in the wave of light. And tell yourself, say to yourself, command for yourself, I want to be illuminated by the truth and with my soul and with divine insight and wisdom. Calibrate me to the divine. And when you say this, calibrate me to the divine, this is very intentionally putting you, your wants, your desires, your agendas, your to-do lists, your schedules to the side. Letting go and surrendering. Calibrate me to the divine orchestration that I'm meant to be a part of. There's great power in that surrender. May you find it more and more every single day. And one last deep breath here, into and through your whole body, up and down your chakras. Feeling pieces of the old, layers falling off, rising, lifting, floating up into the golden light. And that pink full moon getting bigger and bigger and bigger, bringing in more love light to clear the field, to detoxify the atmosphere, more and more illumination. And just remember to allow your body to process, to be very gentle and patient over the next few days. I would say by the time we get into next week, things will have turned over a few more times and come through for us to receive through the next several sleep cycles. So pay attention to how you're feeling and what you're intending before you go to sleep and what you're feeling when you wake up. Give yourself as much rest, water, and fire as you can intentionally to help yourself process through these energies. Take notes, be aware. And again, join me next week for my live series for empaths. And until next time, everyone, have a beautiful rest of your night and happy full moon. Take yourself slowly back into your body and don't move too quickly as you continue the rest of your night, and sweet dreams, and may you be in the golden light. Bye for now, everybody. See you later, alligators.